We are happy to be joined by Bruins goaltender Jeremy Swayman. What's up, Sway? How we doing?
Good to be here, guys.
We decided we needed to bring you on because, as our cheat code for being able to get Alaska onto the board with donations.
They're not up there yet?
I thought that I heard that they were out there. I thought I heard just before we came on. I wanted to make sure. Yeah,
it's really good to hear.
Represent.
As we should.
How's your summer going?
It's great. It's so good. I love staying here in the summers and just being a part of this community and everything, and obviously getting to do this. It's a dream come true. So happy to be here.
When it comes to being a part of the community, how does that take root? How did your connection with the Jimmy Fund form, and how would you describe what you're able to kind of draw from being around it?
The Jimmy Fund is everywhere. It seems like, especially in Boston, New England area. There's an incredible community here to connect with. I've been in all the hospitals, obviously, and just to show what kind of impact it has on the community. And obviously anyone you meet in these hospitals are coming from all over the world. And that for me is something I can easily connect with and get behind. And so when I know that, I think the first year I was here, I was able to do this event and learning more about it over and over the years. It's just connected me more and more to this community, the roots that these people have, especially on the East Coast, a proud Boston fan base. And I just couldn't be happier to be a local Bostonian.
It's woven into the fabric of the team culture in all the major sports in Boston. But from a Bruins perspective, to see all of the players get involved, and it's something that when you get here, you learn right away. You learn about giving back to the community, and in this case, giving back to the Jimmy Fund. Why is that important to instill that culture right from the get-go?
You nailed it. It's the culture that I've stepped into as a Bruin with our incredible leaders, and I couldn't be happier continuing that legacy. For the guys that have stepped foot many years before me that have instilled that with young guys coming in, we've had 100 years of this now in the Bruins locker room. And again, I know it's my duty to continue what they've built, and I'm going to do whatever I can to continue it and make sure the next generation, the generation after that, will continue the great foundation and work ethic and just overall good human beings. And that's something that I can get behind. It's bigger than hockey, it's bigger than us, and again, it's something that I wake up and really strive for every day.
It's really cool to hear you talking about feeling like you're able to integrate yourself into the Boston community and feel a part of that. And I wonder, at what point did you feel like that had taken root, and how important was it to take part in something that was bigger than hockey in order to feel like you were, in fact, a part of a Bostonian of sorts?
The second I stepped at the University of Maine in the East Coast. I was fortunate enough to be drafted by the time I was committed to Maine, and when I stepped in, there was Bruins jerseys in the Alfond Arena, and I was like, holy smokes, like there's going to be Bruins jerseys at a Maine game, and I knew what kind of culture and world-class organization I was stepping into. And ever since Maine, coming down to Boston, signing, being a community member of Boston, it's just continued to impress me. Going to practice, there's hundreds of kids in this summer camp, and they're chanting Swayman. It's one of the most incredible feelings, and it really is. It's something that I take to heart, and it means so much to me because I never thought in a million years that I would have this kind of support and this kind of community to be a part of. And that's why I'm so passionate about being an advocate and trying to get as much involved as I can outside of hockey and with events like this and many more other charitable events that make it a really special place to live.
We meet a lot of Bruins fans at the Jimmy Fund Clinic, as you can imagine, so I would be remiss if I didn't ask a couple of Bruins-related questions.
Of course.
So with that said, I'll start with this. Charlie Jacobs was on, asked about your contract situation, which has been in the news a little bit lately. He said that there are some details to iron out. I'll ask you, what is your confidence that you can get something worked out and be between the pipes for the Bruins this season?
There's a lot of confidence, and I say that because I've treated it like business as usual this year. I've been in Warrior. I've been working out with our guys, our staff, our players, and I know that there's something special building in this locker room this year, and I can't be more excited about that. I know that it'll take care of itself with time, and all I can do is control how I'm going to be a better goalie for the Boston Bruins this year, and so that's all I'm focused on, and I know, again, it'll work out, and I couldn't be happier to be a Bruin.
And in terms of the team going into next year, making some big splashes in free agency, adding some other pieces as well to round out the roster, how excited are you about the team going into the year?
Very excited. There's, again, a ton of momentum building in our locker room now. We got Elias Lindholm in the locker room now, getting to see him, his commitment coming early. I saw Zadorov. Again, he's going to be a huge piece for us moving forward, and of course all the other pieces that are coming. It's a team game, as you know, and I know that everyone that's going to come in this locker room is going to embrace the culture that we've built and do whatever they can do to get points for the Boston Bruins in this team, because we know what we represent with the crest on our logo, and there's a lot of great things to come.
It is really interesting to be at a point of building, right? Like that's. There's a shift that occurs when you have incredible veterans retiring and people who have been iconic figures in the franchise's history retiring. How much do you feel like you guys have kind of gone through a feeling out phase and now are in a position where you do have kind of an identity of who you are and who you will be?
I think every year there's a different identity with each team, and that's what I've learned with my experience, going in my 5th year now. Each team has strengths and weaknesses, and as a guy that's been a core guy, seeing the differences and the different guys come through our locker room and contribute to Boston Bruins hockey, I've gotten to pull bits and pieces of what I've liked from different guys, of what I didn't like, and making sure that I'm keeping that smooth slate of our culture and our identity. And that's been a really special transition for me personally, because I've now stepped into that role of coaching and teaching the next generation, but I really don't have to be a voice. I just do what Marshy does. I just show it. And that's
right. Lead by example.
That's one of my favorite things that he's done, and again, he's an incredible role model for me, and will always be. And it's the work ethic and commitment that he puts forward, and I've embraced it fully, and I'm looking forward to many more years to come.
I want to ask you about this too, Jeremy. Last year during the preseason, we were in Philadelphia. And before the media scrum, you had asked me, it was right after Tim Wakefield had passed.
Yeah.
And you would ask me if you could start off the availability by saying a couple of words about Tim Wakefield. And as you know, he was such a big presence here in Boston, huge presence with the Red Sox Foundation, of course, the Jimmy Fund. Why was it important to you to say a couple of words about Wake at the time?
Yeah, I'm really happy you brought that up. I got to meet Wake one time, and the impact that one conversation had on me will stick with me for the rest of my life. And I got to learn about his involvement with the Jimmy Fund, and obviously his involvement with the community. And that's something, again, I've looked at different athletes in different communities and how they've represented it, but I don't think there's many more that's done it better than Wake. And again, it's my job, it's my teammates' jobs, it's everyone's job in this community to do it how Wake did it. And I wish he was here today because I could still learn from him. And to continue his legacy, I'm going to make sure I'm honoring him and how I treat my teammates, with how I treat the community, with how I treat everyone around me. And that's something that I'll always cherish from him in that conversation.
We'll close the conversation on that note. We appreciate you joining us, Jeremy Swayman, goaltender of the Boston Bruins. Thanks brother.
Fellas.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely will.
All right.